What up, everybody? Just sent the invite link over to Renzell. He'll be joining us any second now. Super appreciate everybody rolling through. KGB, I see you just joined the Instagram Live. If you have a chance to join the Twitch chat, it is there's a link in my bio. I'm about to go live on Twitch, and we're interviewing Renzell. He's a producer here from Chicago. Works with a lot of really great hip-hop artists in the city and elsewhere. So, join the Twitch chat. Let's get it rocking. I see Cole Bruggs is in here. Appreciate you stopping by, buddy. If anybody else has a chance to share the stream and whatnot on the socials, please do. We got Lon here ready to go, so let's get into the interviews here. Interview screen. Hey, Lon.
Yo, story.
Hear me?
Yeah, hell yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, hold on. I'm about to use the bathroom right quick.
Sounds good. Let me know if you can hear him, Cole.
I'm fucking with the Henley component in the back.
Hey.
Yeah, see you going crazy.
For those of you who don't know, Lon had a pretty big part in Mick Jenkins' project, The Healing Component. So pretty dope that he's got it playing in the background there. Pretty fitting. Thanks, man. I got a little new intro screen with the tree there. How's your day going, Cole? We should get on some Call of Duty here soon. I got a win today. I clutched a W with Stock and crew. Stock and Burn. Man, what happened? Where did all the viewers go? We had 4 or 5 in here and now nobody's here. I need more viewers in the stream. You can hear Burner playing with his toy in the background. He ain't interested. Alright, says we got 5 now. 5 viewers. Alright. If you're in the stream, roll call it up. Show yourself. Let us know you're here. Let us know you're here to learn, talk some truth, learn some truth. I need to let Renzell know that this was worth it, that we got some people in here learning about him. Learning about hip-hop, having some dope conversations and shit.
Oh yeah, learning about that hip hop. Hippity hip hop.
Hippity Hip Hop Anonymous?
I think I got it. I'm gonna have to let Stock in a minute. He just pulled up.
No shit. He pulled up for the interview?
Yeah, he got to come smoke on with me.
Hell yeah. That's tight.
Yeah. But I gotta go let him in.
Alright, sounds good. What up, Josh?
I don't know if he's here yet. I don't know if we can call this in.
Oh man, now it says we only got 1. What the hell's going on with this viewer count, bro?
Oh, man, I'm probably messing up your the people seeing it as hell. Hello.
Nah, it's cool. Astro going crazy over there. Man, yeah, it says we got 5 viewers on my stream app, and it says we only got 2 on the actual website, so I don't know what the fuck's going on. But again, if you're here, let me know you're here. I know Josh and Cole are here. Smoking on this GMO. Anybody smoking on anything in the chat? Josh, you smoking them diamonds and sauce, bro? How you like that shit? Is it good? Are the dabs a success?
Stop, Astro. We locked in.
Hell yeah. How's your day going so far? You just got off on another panel, huh?
Yeah, I just got off another call right before this. It was cool, actually. That was a pretty dope panel. It was like a Columbia amp hip hop panel.
Okay.
So a lot of those kids, they were asking some dope questions and stuff. It kind of was like, they all like kind of had asked questions for me rather than the people that was on the panel. But it was cool. The people on the panel was cool too. They had like some dope insight. One of the dudes named Todd Fink. He was like a folk artist, but he was dropping some gems on some shit.
That's
but it was cool.
How many people were on the panel? Was it like 4 or 5? I saw, right?
Yeah, it's like 4 of us. Four of us. I don't even know how many people was in the room though. I was scrolling and it was a couple people. It was like a nice amount of people in there. I don't even remember.
That's cool.
How do I
Um,
see this? I'm not gonna be able to see this on your actual site. I'm just seeing it as the Zoom call.
yeah, I mean, you could pull it up on like a browser and mute the actual stream if you wanted to see it. It'll be a little delayed and everything, but hey, it's Doc Marley in the building. What's
Shop
up?
Marley.
Tell you what, those two that you just saw on screen have something crazy coming up for you guys here soon.
There's
Pretty
the
excited to have
there's a
everybody hear that shit. That stuff's crazy.
there's some hot shit going on, something for the books, you know what I'm saying? Okay, now I see myself on the site too. But
You got it?
I just want to see how it was coming off, you know what I'm saying? But
Looking
we good.
okay?
Yeah. No, we good.
Cool.
You got it.
Shit. So you're originally from Wisconsin, right? You're not from Chicago. What? Tell me a little bit about where you grew up and what brought you to the city over here.
Um, yeah, so I'm originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I it was like a suburb. I grew up in a suburb of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I grew up in Brown Deer, so it was dope. It was dope based on like just the dynamic of people that I was, put in front of and put around. I had a nice mixture of like black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever. Everybody I knew. It was kind of cool in that aspect. Um, but I've always like growing up, I always was involved with music. I was always doing something musical. If it wasn't like playing the piano or like dancing or doing something like that, I was like creative in a sense.
Hmm.
So that's kind of what brought me to Chicago. Because once I was like a junior in high school, I'm like, man, I'm trying to produce, I'm trying to engineer, I'm trying to do something with the music where I know, I could like have some longevity within it. And so I looked up schools that I could go to that I could focus on those things, which in Columbia was one of those. I was looking at Full Sail too. That was down in Florida. My parents wanted me to go down there. So I just went over. I came over to Columbia and it was pretty decent. Really, literally, that's like within the first week at Columbia, I met, the Mind, uh, the my other brother Sean Doe, and my other brother Michael Anthony. So we all met within the first week of living here in Chicago, type shit, and
Dang.
kind of been friends since then. That was like 2007. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So um, it was just kind of dope, kind of like seeing that. But what brought me here was the music, in the sense of just trying to find a different aspect of like a different outlet. I knew Milwaukee wasn't the place where I was trying to be or where I was trying to go. Like it
Hmm.
wasn't going to take me to where I saw myself. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
um, Chicago was that for me, and it definitely has became that and did everything that I thought it would do.
Is there anything that like you saw? Like what did you see more in Chicago than I guess what you could have possibly seen in like L.A. or New York or something like that, where there's another, or even Atlanta, where there's other hubs for hip hop like that.
Um, I think I didn't really think about it like that, where like what would have been like more accessible. But I think
Okay.
for me, like I just saw Chicago being closer to home and me being able to still like thrive in a larger city.
Okay.
I think the major difference is here there's no industry. There's no recording, there's no record label, major record labels, there's no, thing like that. So I think it was great for me to be here because I'm in the midst of Chicago starting its industry. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So I think that's the biggest difference and the biggest benefit right now. Even though people might feel like that might be like something that holds them back, but like you can always go to these places, go to LA, go to New York, and come right back. You know what I'm saying? Go and bring it all back here. I think that's the biggest thing people didn't do is like they don't go somewhere and bring it back. They just go somewhere and like, all right, I'm gonna just be here now. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, that's cool. Um, what is one of your favorite instruments to play? I heard you mention you play piano. What other ones do you play, and what's your favorite one out of all of them to play?
um, saxophone,
Ooh.
one that I've played all my life since sixth grade now. All my life. since sixth grade, I played the saxophone, the alto saxophone, and that was probably my favorite. Now from knowing learning the alto sax, I can play every other saxophone. So I played baritone and tenor and soprano, but my favorite was definitely the alto, and that's what I dug deep on and won awards for, and was at the top of my jazz combo band, and all those type of things just from being involved within that. Damn, we smell good as a motherfucker, don't you, boy? But but yeah, so yeah, that had to be my favorite. Um, my secondary would be piano, but I play that mostly by ear. It's not like I would like chording. I'm not like Stevie Wonder and no crazy shit. Like I'm just like playing it by ear and knowing the key that I'm in and like being able to at least add what I need to on the records that I'm doing.
Yeah. So did your school had a pretty good music program then growing up?
My high school, it was an okay music program. Yeah, it
Yeah.
at least got us where we were in front of crowds where doing competitions, like solo and ensemble. Like we went to like do it in play in the mall and like go play at nursery homes and shit like that. Like they made us like actually go out and gig in a sense
That's
as
kind
the
of cool.
jazz combo. Yeah, like because I was in an advanced jazz class and that advanced jazz class got put on to like different shows and different gigs like that.
Okay.
Um,
Dang, that's awesome.
so yeah, I mean that was a pretty decent you know, I for one didn't like the music that we were choosing, but then I started like once I was like a senior in high school, I was able to like choose the like a couple pieces of music that we played like for our like last show and stuff like that. But that was my only thing, but I enjoyed it. I got, what I'm saying, I definitely like learned what I needed to learn and got the fuck.
Hell yeah. You just dropped Moments Part 1. Sounds fucking dope. The visuals are like next level. That shit is just fire beyond belief, man. I can't wait for more of it to come out. So can you talk a little bit about that and like what inspired such a dope concept?
So yeah, the Moments EP is more of a interpretation of my beat sets that I do naturally. So there's a mixture of records that I've done, a mixture of like remixes and also beats. Um, my beat set is surround is a my beat set encompasses our like studio dynamic. That's the biggest thing of Moments is like capturing that moment of the studio setup.
Okay.
So us as from the producer artist relationship. So the producer artist dynamic, we usually come in, watch, might shoot the shit for a second, have some conversation, look at some movie clips, maybe share some news clippings, listen to some music references, beats, things like that, and that usually influences the music that we make. So with the beat set, I kind of wanted to like have all of those ideas within this one thing. So the Moments 001 is the first installment of these.
Mm.
I'm going to continue this as a series, just to kind of keep people seeing what the instrumental aspect of my artistry is and like where it goes and how I would put together something. So like yeah, and it's also something that's coupled, something that's right I'm doing right before my album comes out, because I do
Mm.
the shape sets as well. And the shape sets are where I do these live sets that you hear on Moments. That's where you would hear these certain things. So along with the shape set, you get this Moments EP, and then at the end of this, when everybody's looking and seeing what's going on, then we're gonna give them the actual whole album. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
awesome, man. You're doing my job for me. I was gonna ask how you tied in shape set to the whole thing, and you just answered it. So
Yeah,
I appreciate that. That's dope.
it is.
Less work for me. What is where I lost my spot, man. What do you think is the best way to approach a new producer when you're just starting off working with them? Because I know, like, I feel like you can be thrown off by a lot of people that are trying to approach you. So, like, as a producer, what can you tell an artist? Like, what's the best way to approach a producer when you're trying to start off work with them?
I think the first thing is to start off with a conversation. Start off with the hey, let's get up and talk about what we got both going on. It's not an initial thing of like, hey man, let me get some beats, let me get some beats, let me get some beats. Um, I think the best way of creating the best possible product is having a relationship with a producer. Um, that's that's for me per se because there are certain producers that can just produce whatever they need to produce and send it out via but I think that also like separates a producer from a beat maker as well, because
Definitely.
there are people that are beat makers that can just send you a pack of beats and you can go and flow over them joints. But if you're trying to create that real life like dynamic duo, then the only way to do that is kind of creating that like relationship with that artist. So if somebody was to approach me, if they, depending on how they want to work, then it's like they would say, hey, either what's your budget? I mean, not what's your budget, or how much is this? Or like, hey, look, I'm a new artist. I'm just looking for some insight or something like that. Like there's things of like where because producers just as well as artists, we're not always gonna open up the message that just says, hey, check me out. Check me out, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Oh, definitely. Everything that you just said like really speaks to. I mean, a lot of my favorite music has some like your hands are on most of my favorite like projects. Like a
Yeah.
lot of the if I just name like top 10 favorite projects, I'm sure your hands are on at least like 3 of those 10, like right
Yeah.
off the bat.
Yeah.
And it just really shows like the relate you talking about the relationship that you build with the artist. Like it just shows I guess the truth in the music. Like it shows how genuine it really is, and the music that you make and have your hands in really is timeless. Like it can be applied to multiple situations or multiple times because like 10 years down the road the music that you've had your hands on is going to make an impact the same way that it does today. And I think that like that's super important that you do build the relationship with that artist because it definitely shows in the music. I think that's
Yeah.
super tight.
You said it because it's like if you don't create that music, if you don't create that relationship, I think you get like a sound that isn't as timeless.
Mm-hmm.
Your music might not last. It might not last decades, like you're saying. It's just like we can, you can go back and listen to, a lot of albums that like you said, that I've been on, and all of these things can be played and have that same feeling today as they did when they first came out. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think, and that was because I had a great, honest relationship with every one of those people that I put music out with. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So, um, yeah. mm, yeah, yeah.
What is your favorite thing about the city of Chicago?
Everything like, like I mean, there's two. I guess like being in the city, it is the environment, it's the feel, it's the look, it's the downtown skyline, it's those things. But then also being the people and the dynamic of groups that have been created is really what I love about Chicago. It's like I'm connected in all different types and sides of Chicago. Where it's like I love that, like even the people, like it's like just like I love the talent and the camaraderie that we do have when we can find it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, it might not be like all of these different groups of people are collaborating together, but I do see it in these pockets of like, okay, like it's so much talent here. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like the talent that's in Atlanta. It's not like the talent that's in LA. It's not like the talent that's in New York. It's like that Midwest sound is something totally original, and something that's like I think that Chicago is really building and branding.
Yeah, definitely. Um, as a producer, you're mostly creating. So when you do have the time to sit down and enjoy some music, what are you gonna listen to for the most part?
My bad.
It's all good.
Pass me the gas over.
Which one is it? They got like the birthday cake or
That's the London pound cake.
London pound cake? Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
What
That
I'm
shit's
not
pretty good.
listening to what I'm doing, bro, I'm listening to all my friends' music, bro. I'm not necessarily like I listen to like, of course, like a good amount of jazz, a good amount of like R&B and stuff like that. But I listen to the music that I work on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I'm going, I'm rocking the stock, just me and stock album. You know what I'm saying? When I'm in the whip, like when I'm riding my bike somewhere, I'm rocking that album, or I'm rocking something else like album I'm working on for myself, or rocking. I just made a song with Mello. I'm listening to that. You know what I mean? And I
Hell
think
yeah.
that also like keeps me in tune with what I'm working on and like keeps my sound brewing in my head. But then I do have my ear to the ground when new things drop. Like, okay, so the Metro shit just dropped. Let me go listen to that. Okay, so like this whatever has released, Bryson Tiller released. Like, let me go listen to that. Tory Lanez released. Let me go listen to that. Like, just to check it out and just see what the climate of the industry is. But I'm always just like running back what I'm working on and what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to continuously vibe and catch a vibe off what I'm working on. You know what I'm
Hell yeah. We got a really good question from the chat. Josh said, "What are some of the things you draw from your jazz background when you're creating?"
saying? Not to get too like, there you go. Not to think too much in the box, because
Ooh, okay.
thinking as an engineer, I begin to think a lot more technical, you know, and I get like real like nerdy and like I can think about like this frequency and this and this. But as a producer, you can't go into it with that mindset. If you want to be like the best producer in your head, like you can't go into it with that technical aspect. But I learned in jazz in improvising, you have to treat improvisation the same way. You know what I'm saying? You got to treat it the way that you actually like aren't thinking too hard about it or like trying to do something like you can tell somebody that really feels it from their soul. So, I mean,
That's
yeah.
dope.
Mhm.
Um, how do you go about finding samples? Do you like to go crate hunting for a vinyl? You use the internet? Is it a mixture of both? What's your favorite way?
It's a mixture of both. So I dig, you know, that's you know what I'm saying. We call it. I be digging heavy. I got a bunch of channels that I go to and things that that I mess with. I also got um I got just some really cool people around me, you know, that send me dope songs that I have a great ear for music as well. And I always like, hey bro, send me some samples, or hey bro, like what you got, you know, like at least like every week I got somebody sending me something, you know, that I'm able to find somewhere. Because samples are what kind of keep me inspired of making to make something new, you know. So so I always got to continuously find new samples and listening to new samples, and you know what I mean. Like that's what you will catch me listening to that just around the crib is like something that I can sample, a new playlist that I found or something like that. Just trying to find something to keep me invigorated and going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Something a little more personal. When life has you down on your rough days, what's something you're doing to help build yourself back up?
Um, man, I talk to family, bro. I think really is like hearing like either my mom's voice or like my daughter's voice. It kind of like makes me it kind of gives me like a sense of nostalgia or a sense of comfort, you know what I mean? And it gives me a sense of presence rather than like trying to concentrate so much on like what the future is to hold. I'm sitting in the present moment and diving into what my mom is going on, what's going on in her life, what's going on with my daughter's life. So those things kind of always give me a more grand perspective on stuff and ground me to like, okay, like this is what I do it for. You know what I mean? Like this is who I do it for. This is why I'm like existing to do. This is like my purpose to continue.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's one of the things. If it's not that, then it's like being around the homies, drinking, doing stuff, being like actually like just enjoying myself, finding different ways to be creative in that's not just music, riding my bike, you know what I'm saying? Like cooking,
Yeah.
finding different ways that just kind of keep me in that mindset, but like just not me making something. You know what I mean? Producing a beat or working on engineering or anything.
Yeah, definitely. Can you speak a little bit on how important goals are, and how do you go about setting goals for yourself? Do you do it on like a monthly? Do you have like short term, long term goals? Like how important is that for you? Because I feel like more successful people are
Yeah,
pretty focused on like goal setting and stuff like that.
those are 100% important. Just so you can see, just so you can have something you're reaching for. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna get nowhere if you don't know what you're after. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
like say I'm at you like say you're after to be a doctor. Like that's my biggest goal. Like there's 100 things you gotta do before you can be a doctor. You know what I mean? Like, but
Yeah.
that's given to you. Like you got to go to school for 5 years or 7, 8, 9 years. And in that schooling process, it's teaching you everything you need to know to where now you're a doctor. All right.
Hmm.
So now you want to be a producer, there's a million and one things that you might have to do before you know how to be, so it's definitely that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. How are you able to prioritize? I guess your goals.
What's most
Yeah,
important, I literally just
yeah.
wrote down earlier this week of what oops, what is the most important thing to happen today. So I say moments was my goal of last week to release that.
Hmm.
There was probably like five other things that I needed to do, but I to actually achieve that goal. But it's like I definitely had to put it in the calendar and see it. You got to see everything on paper. You know what I mean? Don't ever exist within your head with all of these ideas and all of these like goals and stuff. Like you have to put it down and put it up, or if it makes it better for you, write it on your mirror. You know what I'm saying? Write
Hmm.
down what your goal is for that month, what that week is, for you. I to get me into this mind state, I used to write down a to-do list for myself every day. Like literally,
Hmm.
after I went to sleep, I would write a to-do list of what I needed to do the next day, just so I can continue to like discipline myself on reaching and manifesting something that I wrote down.
That's awesome.
And so that works the same way with any goal that you write down. You know what I mean? So
Hell yeah. Um, Speaking of when like growing up, who was someone that you really looked up to a lot as a kid, or who did you look up to the most?
um my pops. No, it's like yeah. Timberland is probably like Timberland and Quincy Jones were like my top like producers in my head that I reached for when I was growing up. Quincy Jones was first because I loved Michael Jackson and I just wanted to like find out who and what was doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like who's making this person who they are. So
Yeah.
I really dove into like what his lifestyle was and like how I plan to get there. But then I loved the sound of Timberland. Once I heard that on like Ludacris and like the Black album and Genuine and Aaliyah, I just knew like okay, like that's the music, that's the versatility I want, and I want to be able to go from R&B to hip hop to like soul to to everything, but then have this futuristic sound as well. So those are probably my biggest influences within the music when I was growing up, though.
Awesome. I think one of my biggest regrets in life is for the longest time until like I finally like left college and turned like 23 or something or 24. I feel like I lived for what other people's expectations of me were. Like I
That's
didn't
deep.
live for myself, and that is like my biggest regret in life.
Mm.
So is there something that you can speak on, I guess, or regret that can maybe help somebody else learn a lesson or like help grow themselves today that you learned?
I think even with what you're saying, man, like I went through that same thing, but I think for
Hmm.
me was like I felt like I'm working for I my service was to work for other people. So I
Hmm.
never had time to like, figure out what I wanted, what I was happy with doing.
Yeah.
So it literally started with getting myself out of that mind state. It started with me writing down what are the things that would make me happy in my life, outside of like um it's just put myself outside of my mind. You know what I mean? Like literally looking at like what would I tell myself? What am I? Who makes me happy? What makes like what in this verb like what in the world do I do that just like it can be like picking this cup up and drinking some juice, you know what I'm saying? But it's
Yeah.
like knowing those things about yourself is really what develops your mind into like locking in on like okay, like focus on manifesting like oh, I have now that you know this about yourself, you know that okay, I now what else can I do? What else can I focus in on and like hone in on what skill can I hone in on to like bring to light, you know. I think for me, like I said, I kind of went you go through that type of feeling, but it's up to you to kind of discipline yourself to learn that about yourself. If you're not trying like you had to learn that for yourself that you didn't know that, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Like you can't and nobody else can tell you. So if you're not working on it, you know, I think so wanted to put that all in one sentence, it's like you can't the biggest thing that's gonna change your life is uh, continuing doing what you want when nobody's looking. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like when you in your house, like that's the most important thing. And when you in your bedroom, like and you love and you're passionate about something, like you have to still be doing that thing when nobody's looking and nobody's looking at you. You know what I mean? So that gets
Yeah.
you out of the mind state of like, damn, like you doing something for someone else or the look of something else, you know, because you know ain't nobody looking at you. If you passionate about that in your lifestyle and making it a lifestyle, then you will that will definitely trickle over into the rest of your life, you know.
Dang, that's cool. I think one of my favorite projects and one of the more influential ones on my, I guess, outlook on life, and one of the ones that helped like start build the influence for the Talkin Truth brand itself is the healing component. And I think the most important message I learned from that is you got to learn how to love yourself before you can love other people.
Yeah.
So can you just speak on that message for a second? Because that was like a project that you worked on heavily. So.
Yeah, I mean the whole project shit. I think I mean, it's yeah, it's like it's pretty self-explanatory in the sense of like learning to love yourself before learning other people. It's just like, but my for my reality of that though, it's harder to do the action. You know what I'm saying? It's harder
Hmm.
to know what to do. Like, what am I supposed to do to love myself? You know what I mean? I think those are the questions people got to start asking themselves so they can dig deeper on what that is. It's like, okay, what does that involve, like what you know what I mean, like
Hmm.
I think it's so much easier to love somebody because they're right physically in front of you and you're watching that. It's like, okay, I can love this woman because she's sexy, like, you know what I'm saying, but like how do I what's sexy about yourself? That's why it's like it turns into like writing all these shits down, like what do I love about myself? You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? What is it that like like that's the thing is what do I love about myself? Like writing
Yeah.
that shit down, like seeing it, being in front of it, telling yourself daily, like really. I used to have post-its on my like hanging in my room, like of things that I felt like I needed to work on. I
Hmm.
used to feel like I was so inconsiderate to the people around me because I was so focused on myself. I used to have a post-it note that just said "consider people" on on
Oh,
my
okay.
fucking on my like right before I walked out my room on my light switch. But that was like just one of the many post-its I had up in my room. Like if it
Hmm.
wasn't on my computer, or if it wasn't on my like laptop, anything. I had those joints just sitting up just so I could like drill it in my head,
Yeah.
and see it every day. Just so I did the same thing for manifestation of dreams and goals. Like I wrote it down and put it up somewhere so I see it every day. You
Hmm.
know. Uh,
That's dope.
so yeah, let me see that lighter stop.
Um, what do you think is the most important lesson you learned growing up as a kid?
I think it was two. It was two, because my dad always drilled in my head like, go to school, go to school, go to school, be this way, like have a structure, have your finances together, have your, what I mean, like basically like get your stuff together so you can like be a provider to your woman. Then my
Yeah.
mom was on the other tip of like, you know, she was very all about the secret and like manifestation and like, um, what's the other law of attraction and everything. So she put me on the wave of like, damn, like I can have whatever I can be whatever I want to be. Like all of my dreams that I believe, I just have to dedicate myself into being, and I can do that. So like my mom taught me how to actually dedicate into my craft and my creative side, and my dad taught me how to like keep and continue that goal to like where I can be the provider of like my life and my family. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So that's
dope.
kind of like that's like a story along with the actual thing, but it's still what I've learned.
That's
Yeah.
perfect. That's exactly what the platform's for. So I appreciate you speaking so much for me tonight, man. Um, what does success look like to you? Is that like a singular thing? Can it mean different things to different people? And what does it look like to you personally?
For me, success looks different at each age. I think once you realize that, you'll begin to like hone in on what you're really happy about. Like at every age I've had a different success point and I saw it different. I used to believe that it was like, oh, this like $1 million dream, but bro, I'm doing what I love for a lifetime. Like this is my career. I live in a nice crib and a decent, and I haven't worked no other job in 7, 8 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that I was successful at 20, 21. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have no, like I was already successful. Like to
Yeah.
my 15-year-old self, like I definitely was already successful. You know what I'm saying? So then it just to bring the accolades and everything else just coming, like I feel like it's all a given to where you already supposed to go. It's all something like that's supposed to happen as we're going, because your goal is like, all right, my goal already always is to be the provider of my life and the provider of my family. So if when that how that looks, and when I get to that, that's when I'm like the most successful. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like success happen like, and that might not be this year for me. You know what I'm saying? That might be 3, 4 years from now. I might feel like that when I'm 50. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But I still have like done countless amount of things that's probably you might deem successful. He might deem successful.
Yeah.
For me, yeah,
Hell yeah.
it's two perspectives on success.
Just to give everybody kind of a refresher, I don't know if you've ever heard my explanation of the like what the tree represents for the brand, but the roots in particular represent like your morals and values. That's your roots, your foundation. The body of the tree represents the people that you have around you that support you. The branches represent the experiences you have in life, and then the leaves are the life lessons that you've learned and taken away from everything. So that being said, what would be your favorite tree that you've ever seen?
Favorite tree?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I knew the name of it.
What's it look like?
Favorite tree. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of Oh, okay. So I was in Charlotte earlier this year, and it's a damn. What is the name of that tree? I was in Charlotte earlier this year. Hold on.
Look it up.
Yeah, watch. Hold on. Tree. It's a fucking hold on. Damn. Damn. I'm sorry, bro.
It's all good. What were you doing out there in Charlotte?
My mom was trying to move out there. My sister actually just moved out there,
Okay.
so she, yeah, my sister just moved out there, so so we were out there like just trying to find a place for her and see where she can live and stuff. Is it the elm tree? Hold on. No. Damn, bro. I really wish I knew the name of this joint. If it's not this tree that I'm talking about, it's a willow tree for sure.
Willow tree. Yeah, I love those
But
trees.
man, I wish I could find this because this is a tree I ain't never seen before.
If you do, send me a picture of it and I'll post it on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
I'll post it on
yeah,
the
yeah.
page.
You can continue. I'm gonna have to find it for myself.
All right, cool, cool. What does truth mean to you?
Hmm. That's a good question. Hmm. I feel like truth means like a truth to me means family, you know. I think those are the people because that means just for me, I feel like I could never lie to my actual like daughter, you know, but I don't feel like, you know, I can't. It's hard for me to lie to my daughter. It's hard for me like to lie to my parents. I know we did it. You know, we all lied to our
Yeah,
parents and everything like that. But it's like in the real, you have to tell your family like some real truthful things. Like you have to. So
mm-hmm.
like I think if you are that type of person, like to like you're a word you've either had good you have great morals and you also been raised well, but in your like social life and like your relationships, like that truth goes a long way, you know. And and if you're very truthful with somebody and and that comes off that way, you probably will be embraced by a lot more, like you will manifest a lot more things in your life, you know what I'm saying? Like I will consider Stock my family because you know he ain't never lied to me. You know what I'm saying? Like we
Yeah,
would truth with lie. You know what I'm saying? We are the truth. We speak truth to each other. Not even necessarily just lying about nothing petty, but like lying about you know if something's good about our music or something like connecting like you know like where it just goes so much deeper. Like we're not just like truth just doesn't lie within like you know I'm not just, I can just lie to somebody about like what you ate this morning, but like you know what I'm saying, like
yeah, yeah,
you know what I mean, like we kind of like because if you could lie to me about that, then what can I really you know trust from you? You know what I'm saying? If you can lie to somebody about like if what they doing on the song, then me and Stock probably not gonna make the same records if I was you know not truthful with him or if he didn't trust me, you know. So it's like I said, like I think somebody has to look at you like, you know, like it's the love of family that you feel like for somebody when you invoke trust in them, you know.
mm-hmm. Um, touching on the project moments, what has been one of your favorite moments from 2020 so far since it's been such a fucking weird year?
Favorite moment. I mean, it ain't really been 2020 been weird. Shit. Shit, putting this project out. Go lock in on the project, y'all. Moments right now. Uh, really, I think the favorite thing for me is me releasing the music as myself and as Renzell for so long that we we put music out under them people.
Mm-hmm.
And I was you know producing a lot of that music along with my brother Sean Doe and Michael Anthony. But I was just doing a lot under that name, and now is me coming out as my own personal brand, and so that's kind of be the biggest moment for me is like literally locking in on the Renzell brand and like you know putting out output, you know, and working with several artists and doing the same thing. So yeah, that had to be the biggest moment for me.
Hell yeah! What's one of your goals to for next year then for Renzell as a brand?
You want to get my goals? You want to know what I'm doing? That's crazy. Well, man, just look out, man. We finna. My biggest goal next year is just to like really distribute music and have a very like a distributing music and having a way to get it upstream,
Okay. Yeah.
and upstream to the main line. What we're making, like this sound, what we're
Yeah.
producing, is not what's on the main line. And my
I
biggest
feel
goal
that.
next year is for
Ooh.
this brand to get it up to the main line. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. You know what
That's a
I'm saying?
fire goal. I
Do
like
it.
it.
We're gonna do it. And it's on its way.
I believe in you, man. You got the if anybody can do it, it is you definitely. So
Love,
I'm
love.
excited to see where you go. I'm definitely gonna be following. Everybody in here better be following. My last question before I ask for final thoughts from you is, what has your impression of my brand been so far? Is there anything we can improve on? Um, what's it looking like?
What's it looking like?
What's
I would
Talking
say,
Truth doing
I
right?
would say, I would say, tell me what I want to know more about what you just told me about the truth of the tree and everything. Like, I don't know that. So I think you should dive deeper into that for your content. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Produce more content around that,
Okay.
about the introspection of what you are of the brand and what the brand is. You know what
Hell
I'm
yeah.
saying? So now people know that, like, you got content coming out for that, and you got the interviews, and you got this. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
just keep giving them everything, and you got the cameras over there. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
what motherfuckers you use, dog. You know what I'm saying? So I would do that because I would want to hear more about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's interesting. I didn't know
Hell
what
yeah.
the tree meant. So it's like, I think a lot of people want to hear that. I think a lot of people want to know that. So I
Dude,
was, yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
You're the first person that's given me like something to work on or like giving me feedback or like any that's fucking amazing. Like super appreciate you for that.
Yeah,
That's
man.
awesome. Any final thoughts from you, man? What I appreciate you coming on, dude. It's been dope talking to you. I look forward to doing it again at some point. But any final thoughts from you?
Oh yeah, no. Shit, I see my man Mike Quell in this motherfucker. Yeah, you family as well, bro. You already know. I
Oh,
didn't
I
even
didn't
look
even
at the
see
like.
that. I haven't been
Yeah,
looking at the chat the whole time. I've been just fucking focused on this.
yeah. We stay, man. Shout out my nigga Mike Quell, bro. Shout out my dude Stock Marley sitting right here. We
Thanks,
fucking
Mike.
with,
Well, appreciate that, man.
you know what I'm saying? So shout out all the family that's rocking with me, and shout out y'all for tuning in with my man Talking Truth. This is a dope experience. I want to say, you man, keep going, bro. Keep doing this. Keep like stay dedicated, bro. I see you being consistent. Don't let up, bro. That shit cold. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like, man, y'all stay tuned, man. We got some big things happening. Moments is out right now. Me and Stock on the way. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple of more things cracking. I ain't about to talk too much for y'all on that. I'm just gonna let y'all see what it is. So
Let it speak
follow
for
me,
itself.
Renzell that way if you ain't doing it already. Man, appreciate you, dog. Appreciate
Likewise, man.
you. We gonna lock in soon, bro.
Have a good night. Stock, what up? Later. Nice W in the war zone today.
Oh yeah, we got a double ski. You know what I'm
Yes, sir.
saying?
Sorry we put you through that 2 hour fucking Call of Duty Warzone talk the other night, bro. You're just and just like had no input, just didn't know what to say. I just felt bad. Or we were just talking about the Warzone the whole time. All right, boys, take it easy. Have a good night. Stay safe, guys.
All right, my guy.
Later. Oh, there we go. So that was Renzell, my guy, and he had Stock over at the crib. They're probably gonna be cooking something up dope, maybe just hanging out. Who knows? But they definitely got something getting released soon that's gonna fucking blow your guys' minds. I'm excited to talk about that on stream at some point. We finally got a suggestion from an artist for Talkin' Truth. We're gonna put more content together about the tree. I'm gonna try to put some more content with me in front of the camera. I gotta get more comfortable with that shit. I don't like being in front of the camera at all whatsoever. It's not my favorite thing. I don't like being the focus of attention, but obviously I gotta make some more content out there so people can understand the brand a little bit more. So we're gonna work on that. We have interviews set up for the 13th, the 15th, and the 20th. I have the 22nd, the 27th, and 29th available. If you know any artists that want to be interviewed, please hit me up. If you are an artist that wants to be interviewed, please hit me up. Talkin Trut DM. Coming up on the 8th, we have Sterling Hayes. I'm so fucking pumped. We got a Save Money artist coming on the Talkin Trut stream for the first time. That is Thursday the 8th at 7 p.m. Central. And then on Tuesday, we have, who the fuck is on Tuesday? Kalen Raps, he's from Wisconsin. And then on the 15th, we have Zig the Mind. He's got music coming out on the 16th, so the day before he has music being released, we're going to have The Mind on the stream, finally. We had to reschedule that shit quite a few times. There were multiple things happening on both of our ends. I got married, he had shit going on, whatever. We stayed in contact. We got The Mind scheduled, coming through again on the 15th. And then on the 20th, we just set up somebody else on Instagram. Who the fuck was it? I can't remember. Let me see. Who do we got? It's going to be Jesse 5K. That's right. Jesse 5K is on the 20th. Tuesday the 20th. So again, we just have the 22nd, the 27th, and the 29th left to fill to have interviews for the entire month. Rosie just got back in from taking the dog out for a walk, and she just got back home from work. I'm going to hop off the stream right away because I want to give my wife a hug. And hope you guys have a good night. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please stay tuned in every day this month. Not every day. Every Tuesday and Thursday this month, we got interviews lined up. I only have 3 more spots to fill for the month to fill it up, but it's going to happen. I already got artists lined up asking to be in. So stay tuned. Appreciate you, Truthers. You're the best. Have a good night, guys.